5 reasons why you should not look for a Paraguayan wife. In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest fallacies that expats fall victim to when dating in Paraguay, when attempting to find a wife in Paraguay. There are a number of things expats do wrong, get wrong, and consequently, they don't find the Paraguayan wife they truly deserve. Number 1, you should not attempt to find a Paraguayan wife if you are unable to reflect on her and your past. Now, we human beings, we are comprised of our past. We are a reflection of our past, our traumas. We are a reflection of our childhood. We are a reflection of our experiences. This is who we truly are. So your ability to reflect on her past, and most importantly, your willingness to listen to her and to try getting to know her past, her experiences, her past relationships. All of this must come to your awareness to really understand who she is, where she's coming from, and potentially some things you have to resolve together. Oftentimes people have trust issues, including when dating in Paraguay. They have issues trusting a Paraguayan woman. So if you come from a Western country and you've had a good amount of experiences dating women in the West, and chances are your past relationships haven't really worked out, and you bring this mentality of failure, of disappointment, of setbacks with you to Paraguay, and you believe that the same things are going to happen to you again, then you really have to resolve your traumas first. There are certain things that happen when we communicate with our girlfriend, our fiance, our wife, that are predicated on past experiences. And you have to overcome these past experiences to enhance your response to a certain conversation. Like sometimes people react in a very non-beneficial way when they are communicating about something they don't agree with. So oftentimes when you have this conversation with your Paraguayan partner, let's say you have a discussion about building a house or potentially at what point you'd have children, and you have mixed opinions about such a topic. Oftentimes what happens is that people would start arguing about it because they're not on the same page, or they're just incapable of listening to the other person. And it doesn't have to be you, it could be her as well. And oftentimes people react in a way that is not very useful. You have to remove all anger from opinions. You have to remove all resentment. It's totally okay to disagree. However, it is not okay to become emotional about a disagreement that you just have to work out. Sometimes you have mixed opinions about things, and you are on one end, she's on the other, and you cannot make an agreement. So what happens is that you should meet in the middle, a solution that works for both of you. And sometimes in a relationship, you have to accept certain things that maybe you're not happy with. You have to actually say yes to certain things that maybe you don't agree with. And so will she. Certain things that you want to do that she doesn't want to do. But because these things are important to her, she will say yes to doing these things with you. Let's say that is taking a vacation. Or let's say that is you working 60 to 70 hours a week, which is a prerequisite to creating wealth and maintaining wealth. So she might make this sacrifice for you, but at the same time, there will be sacrifices that you have to make for her. For instance, when you will have children. This is a very important question. Now, women typically, and Paraguayan women included, want to have children when they feel comfortable being by your side. This is key. Oftentimes, we men, we get into a relationship with the mentality, we have to get everything done today. In fact, we want to have everything done yesterday. It doesn't work like that. Relationships work very differently than a business. In a business, you can be very pragmatic. There is no spouse involved. You can make very logical decisions. However, in a relationship, talking about a man being in a relationship with a woman, we have to consider her feelings, how she feels about this decision. In this case, when you will have children. This is just one of these things, right? Another one could be when you're getting married. When do you want to get married? When does she want to get married, right? So you have to agree on all of this, but most importantly, you have to listen. And God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and you should use everything proportionately. The point I'm trying to make is that there are some sacrifices that you're going to have to make, no matter what. And you have to make these sacrifices to create emotional stability for her. Once she feels emotionally stable and once she feels that she can rely on you and that she can trust you because you do respect her point of view, her opinion, and your utmost priority is to make her emotionally secure. This is the key for being in a relationship with any woman. Once you can do that, everything opens up for you, because once she trusts you, she is much more receptive to listen to you, take your advice, to follow you. But a woman who doesn't feel emotionally secure with her man is a woman you probably don't want to get married to. But this is your responsibility, not her. You should not look for a Paraguayan wife if you're unwilling to make sacrifices in the short term. This is a big one. Oftentimes people want to get married. Oftentimes people want to accelerate the process of getting married, having children, because they're in a rush. Let's say you are a hotshot entrepreneur. You worked super hard in your 20s, your 30s. You're now in your late 30s, early 40s. You come to Paraguay and you're in a rush to get married and have children. Now, oftentimes this accelerated emotion that you bring with you to the table when dating a Paraguayan woman does not create a lot of relaxation in her eyes, in her heart. One of the sacrifices you may have to make is to take this one step at a time. Whatever you do, do it 100%. If you're in the process of dating and there are certain things you have to resolve before you can get married, do that. Sometimes you have to overcome certain problems like trust issues, respect issues. Let's say you're accustomed to working a lot and she's not happy with that. Well, you have to explain to her that you're doing this for a reason, and that reason is to put food on the table, right? To provide for her. So you have to make sure that she understands that by you working harder and longer hours, she's going to be the biggest beneficiary, because you're doing this not just for yourself, but for her and for your family, for your future family, right? There are other sacrifices that you may have to overcome if you're dating a very conservative woman and she wants to preserve certain things for marriage, then that must be respected as well. Finding a conservative woman in the 21st century is not easy, especially outside the Islamic world. If you're fortunate enough to have found one yourself, you have to accept the fact that maybe you won't be living together until you get married. I know that some of you guys have mixed feelings about that. Well, you haven't really tested her. How do I know if I can even live with her? This is a great question. This is a risk that you're taking. And just because you have tried living with a woman for 3 to 6 months or even a year does not mean that a relationship or marriage will work. No, it doesn't. Lots of things can happen. So your ability to resolve problems, your ability to sacrifice, which also includes giving in at times, is mandatory to your overall success in any relationship. So when it comes to making sacrifices when dating your future Paraguayan wife, I actually mean saying no to many things. Because when saying no to many things, you can say yes to the right things. And it is just like a lot of things in life. Oftentimes, you don't get the result until you focus at least 80% of your energy on something. And this can be difficult, especially if you're running a business and you're looking to get married simultaneously, because you now have 2 things to complete, right? To master, and your energy will be split. There's no question about that. And it gets even harder when you're trying to do 3 or 4 things simultaneously, leading to you not achieving anything worthwhile. There's a good reason why so many men wait before getting married. Obviously, being financially stable and most importantly, being mature for marriage are 2 prerequisites for making it work. If you don't have the financial resources for marriage, for a life, for your wife and your future children, then maybe it is not the right time yet. You should probably be focusing on your business, ensuring success and financial independence before marriage can happen. 3, you should not look for a Paraguayan wife if you are unwilling to understand her culture. This is big, not just in Latin America, but across the globe, including Asia, Africa, the Middle East, even countries nearby where you live right now. Oftentimes, we don't want to make the effort trying to understand her culture. Now, women are very family oriented, including Paraguayan women, especially in this society here. How do we describe this society best? Now, a lot of Paraguayan women who you meet have never left the country, right? Which is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you know that they are very communal. This is a good thing. Second, you know that you and her will experience many things together for the first time, assuming that you also have not, for instance, like traveled in Latin America or potentially to other locations worldwide. So it's going to be more unique than if you date a Paraguayan woman who has been in a relationship with half a dozen foreigners. A lot of people in this country, in Paraguay, live within their little comfort zone. They do the same things every single day without deviating a whole lot. This can lead to issues when you're trying to introduce new ideas to your future Paraguayan wife. While she may be open to your ideas surrounding travel, potentially starting a business, working together, learning a new language, socializing with your foreign friends, but it may be hard to initiate these new processes because oftentimes people are paralyzed, Paraguayan women are paralyzed by a new idea. So how you get her comfortable doing these things is when she feels comfortable with you. Considering her emotions must be your utmost priority. Paraguayan women will follow you if they feel emotionally stable, secure. Which leads back to a point that I discussed early on in the video. Understanding her culture, the things that are important to her, and most importantly, the people that are important to her. When you can do that, when you can make sure that she has space, she has time with the people who truly matter in her life, then not only will she be a much happier person, but you also have time to do the things that are important to you. Codependent relationships don't really work. Sure, there's always going to be a certain level of codependency, but she should have her own life, you should have your own life, and then you should live a third life together. Paraguayan culture is very family oriented, so please make sure to take note of that. 4, you should not look for a Paraguayan wife if you cannot be masculine. Now, this is a very masculine and feminine culture. I know it's changing, but when you compare it to countries in the Western Hemisphere, in Europe, North America, it is very apparent that Paraguayan culture and Paraguayan women just value old school dating. Many Paraguayan women dream of being at home, cooking for you, taking care of your children, and being a great caregiver. It's very important to her. But to tell the truth, society has changed Paraguayan women. Not 100%, but quite a bit in recent years. Due to this new expedited wave of feminism, Paraguayan women are accustomed to working hard, working long hours to provide for themselves. And a lot of them have children much later on in life. While the median age is sitting at about 27 years in Paraguay, it is increasing rapidly, meaning fewer women have children than just a couple decades ago. So when we're talking about finding a Paraguayan wife and creating an environment where she can feel her real femininity, you have to make sure that you bring your masculine energy to the table, which allows her to return to her feminine roots and do the things that are important for your future family. This environment has changed Paraguayan women a lot. Many have become masculine and many have become providers because this is what society sees as normal worldwide and also in Paraguay. However, many Paraguayan women are fed up. They want to return to their feminine roots. 5, you should not look for a Paraguayan wife if you are a low-value man. While infidelity is definitely common in Paraguay, many Paraguayan women are very, very loyal. They're looking for a high-value man, a loyal man, a man who's going to treat them well, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Of course, they're also looking for a man who can provide, protect, and lead. This goes without saying. High fidelity is a prerequisite to a successful marriage. Paraguay is a fantastic country for finding a conservative woman in the 21st century, if not one of the best countries in the entire world. Paraguayan women are very patient, they're very calm, many of them are good listeners, and very respectful toward foreigners. On top of that, Paraguay offers one of the easiest second residence permits in the entire world, allowing nationals from most Western countries immigrate to Paraguay without proving economic solvency. If you're a citizen of the United States of America, Canada, European Union, Ukraine, Russia, South Africa, Australia, or New Zealand, you may be eligible to qualify for Paraguayan residency. To determine your eligibility for Paraguayan residency, please book a consultation with me today. Go to nomadelite.com and click on book consultation. I look forward to talking to you about finding a Paraguayan wife and relocating to Paraguay. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your attendance, and I look forward to welcoming you to this beautiful country located in South America.